Hi guys, today we meet for a new subreddit story. Hello, it's me again, Leon, fake name. So this story is about my mother who is a bitch, smiley face. Yes, a bitch, judge me all you want, but I won't give a fuck. It all started when I was 10. I went to her bakeshop to get my bag and she wasn't there, so I decided to wait for her. So I sat down at the counter and saw her phone. I decided to open it and check, and I saw her text with a guy, Mark, fake name, and I saw her message, I love you boss. And I was 10 and I already know what cheating means in a relationship / has watched movies and read a lot of book / and I read their conversation, and then I saw her come inside the shop and I stood up with tears in my eyes and walked to her holding her phone and showed her, and I said why I wanted her to say sorry, but what she said made me sad. Please don't tell your father. My heart sank. I stood there crying. I dropped her phone and ran all the way home and called my dad to come home fast. He was so confused. After an hour later, he's home. I sat at the table looking down and told him to listen to meHe. Was so confused and shocked on how I acted. He asked, what happened? And I said I don't have proof, but I saw mom's messages with another dude saying I love you, and he sat there looking at me. I started tearing up more. I said, Dad, what are you gonna do? He stood up and said, take care of your brothers, I'll be right back, and he left. A few hours later, I hear screaming outside. It was my mom and dad fighting. I stood there watching them, and my dad started destroying everything. His hands was full of wounds from punching glass and the walls. There were blood stains everywhere, and my mom's face was so proud and full of pride. When he left, I wanted to punch her, but I couldn't. Not now. The next day my grandfather came and talked to my parents. I was there listening. My dad was sent to live in an apartment and my mom can decide whether she lives here or go somewhere else. She went to live in an apartment Aswell, and she said she's taking me and my brothers. I wanted to be with my dad. Time skip 2 years later, my 12th birthday, my dad and I met up sometimes. I was depressed and mad by the fact that my mom took advantage of women's rights and shit. Right, my 12th birthday, we were celebrating at the bake shop and I wasn't happy at all. My 11th birthday we never celebrated. It was the time when they sang a song, so I forced a smile and act like I appreciated it. Until I saw his face come inside Mark, the guy my mom was dating. I got so mad and I threw everything off the table. My mom yelled at me. I just stood there and then ran away. I got on my bike and went to my dad's apartment. It was still close, so I waited till I heard a car noise. I knew it was him, so I ran and I saw him. I cried and hugged my dad so hard. After a few seconds, my dad asked, why are you here? Aren't celebrating your birthday? I just said, I don't want to be there anymore. We went inside and I explained everything to him. And I ended up sleeping there. The next day my dad decided to talk to my mom and it didn't end well. After that, my grandfather decided to make us live together again. Bad mistake. After a few weeks of living together, it was okay. They were ignoring each other. Then one night my dad came home drunk. He kicked down my mom's door and rushed her and punched her so many times, and I pulled him back and out him in a headlock, and he stopped. He stood up and went outside destroying everything while crying and screaming while my mom was calling her friend. I just looked at them with my right arm broken from the pressure I put on my dad. I felt like dying. But I didn't. My uncle then came and took my dad somewhere while my mom went to a friend's house, and I stayed until 4 a.m. cleaning everything with a broken arm. Up until now no one knew my arm broke that time. A week later, after the incident, my mom filed a complaint thing. I didn't know what it was and I was included. I saw the sign saying woman and child protection thing. What it was, me and my parents sat down and they talked until it was my turn. My dad already left. Then the lady asked me to choose, do I go to my mom or my dad? I looked at her and I smacked my hand on the table. The table was glass. The glass broke and I stood up and looked at my mom, her, and said fuck you. Her face was full of shock. Then I ran and walked all the way home, in tears with a bleeding hand. I didn't care though, it didn't hurt that much. After that, my grandfather got mad and said if my parents don't stop fighting he will send us back to my old city. So they stopped. After a year later, I was 13. Everything was okay. They still ignored each other. I sometimes call my mom her nickname out of anger and she never cared. Time skip to my 14th birthday. My mom decided to celebrate my birthday outside even though it's COVID. Like bitch, WTF, she wanted to surprise me. Like hell, I'll appreciate you. They told me to go to the park. It was night and dark, and I saw them having a picnic. I was embarrassed, and the fact that her friend was there and Mark and dad wasn't there, I was furious. I stepped on the food they prepared and said fuck you and left. After that, my mom went home, yelled at me, and complained on how disrespectful I am. And she asked why, and I said, I'm tired. I just want to end everything, and she said, you're tired of listening to your father, all the complaints, and shit he said. Oh yeah, during the 2 years when they were separated, my dad always orders me to spy on her, and if I get no info he always gets mad, and even if I get info he never appreciates me. I felt betrayed. I even helped him. I was there right beside my dad when he was in pain. But his anger and jealousy got the best of him. I mean, I can't judge him, he just got cheated on, and he still lost. OFC, I hate my father, but he didn't mean it, but I still hate him. Anyways, back to the story. You're tired of listening to your father, all the complaints, and shit he said. I said yes and no, I'm tired of being alive, and I looked at her, and I could tell by her face, she was frustrated. Ha bitch, she then told me I'm not allowed to leave the house and have my phone and shit blah blah blah. And now I'm here December 17th outside at 5 a.m. resting after a jog writing a story about my family. Huh, life is full of shit, isn't it? I hope you like my family story. You can judge me all you want or whatever, I don't really care, I just wanted a way to get this off my chest. And also do the worry I'm not writing this story cause I'm gonna commit suicide, ha 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 ha, I can't do that. Cause I finally found someone that truly loves me. Welp that for another story if you guys want, winky face, this is goodbye, thank you. Writer, Leon's Life, fake name. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and put a like and a comment.